How has NIL changed your world, Coach?
Rich, my wife's smarter than I am, and Sally told me when I was griping about NIL early that, artists in college get to sell their art. Musicians get to go play at bars and concerts and make money. So why shouldn't football players or athletes be able to make money off their name, image, and likeness? So I got that. What we don't have is we don't have guardrails. NFL's got more guardrails and guidelines than we do. So I'm all for it. I like the fact guys can make some money, but we don't even have a salary cap. So we need to learn from the NFL. They've got more guidelines than we do. So I hate the fact that NIL was thrown on all athletics directors and coaches without guidelines.
So then what guidelines would you want?
I think we've got to figure out what we can do to make sure that some of the word I think that's public is not true when they're talking about millions and millions of dollars. I don't think that stuff's really happening like people are saying it. But I think what we should do is try to help all the young people get some money. I thought maybe there's a $50,000 bonus when you graduate. Maybe there's group licensing because these are team sports. It still was about amateurism, and now we're not. We're inching closer to pro football with college sports, and that's just what we're doing. So it's a difficult thing. Same thing with the transfer portal. I think we can put more guidelines on it about when and how, but we're putting maybe too much money in some young people's pockets, more than they're ready to handle. We're making them be adults sooner than they have in the past with paying taxes and having agents and a lot of different decisions that are coming earlier than some would like. And at the same time, some young guys get too much money, and I see one the other day that buys him some Crocs for $250, and I said, "Why would you do that?" He said, "I can." We've got to do a better job of making sure that we're talking to them about how to handle their money and how to save their money and how to make sure that they have money moving forward, because if a guy makes $50,000 off an NIL deal, that may be the most money he ever makes in his life if he doesn't finish his degree. So I hate right now, Rich, that we're talking more about NIL deals than we are your degree and what you're going to do, because your money's going to come afterwards for the large majority of these kids. Your money's not going to come up front. And we've told them it's really about your ball, not your brand, because if you're not playing great ball, they're not going to pay you. And they say you can't be paid for your ball. Well, that's what the supporters are going to pay for. So we can say what we want, but those are the facts.
Yeah, sure. Your name, image, and likeness is enhanced by how good you are at your craft. I understand that. Are schools in recruiting based on your knowledge? Just saying, you come here, you will make this much in NIL, like making that part of the recruiting process from what you
Yes, Rich, there's always been cheating, and that's cheating. You can't just say that, but people are. I've had kids come in my office and say, "If you'll give me this much money, I'll come here." And I said, "Well, who has offered you this?" And they'll tell me the schools. And I said, "Are there any guidelines?" No. Have they told you have to do anything for it? No. So but there's cheating in every business. That's the way it is. What I think we need is to start having contracts. We're being more like the NFL. I think it's unfair for a young guy to hear he's going to make $50,000, and then he gets to the school and they say, "No, you misunderstood." So let's sign contracts. Let's have NIL contracts where, and they're going to start putting in there, you got to go to the bowl game, you can't opt out of the season, you can't flunk out, you can't get a DUI, you can't get arrested, you can't quit the team. But I think it's as we get more like the NFL, we're going to see people that are demanding contracts, and I think that's fair, because I'm afraid we're in the early stages of this, and we're all trying to figure out how to navigate it. And I'm afraid there's going to be some families and some students that are lied to that think they're going to get a lot of money, and then they're not going to get it when they get there.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.